You know that feeling when your workday is technically over, but it never really ends? When your phone lights up at 11:47 p.m. and you already know who it is, and you already know it's not urgent, but you still feel it, that pressure, that silent expectation, that unspoken rule that says, if you don't respond, you're not committed enough. Yeah, my manager never said I had to reply to his midnight emails. He didn't need to, because every morning he'd look at me just long enough to let me know he noticed. So I didn't confront him. I didn't complain. I didn't escalate. I just made a rule of my own. And 4 months later, he completely changed. If you've ever had a boss who blurred the line between work and your personal life, if you've ever felt that quiet pressure to always be on, even when you shouldn't be, then you're going to love this one. Hit like, subscribe, and stick around, because this is one of the most subtle, controlled, and satisfying workplace revenge stories you'll hear today. It never starts with something outrageous. That's the thing. There's no big moment where you go, yeah, this is unacceptable. It's gradual, quiet, almost reasonable. The first time he emailed me late, I didn't think anything of it. 10:32 p.m. Subject line, quick thought on Q3 projections. I remember glancing at my phone while brushing my teeth. I stared at it for a second, debating. Do I open it? Do I ignore it? I opened it, because why not? It took me maybe 5 minutes to read, 3 minutes to reply. No big deal, right? That's how it starts. Then it happened again, and again. 10 p.m. turned into 11 p.m. 11 p.m. turned into midnight, sometimes even later. And the emails, they weren't urgent. That was the frustrating part. No crisis, no deadlines, no emergencies. Just thoughts, ideas, quick updates, things that absolutely, easily wait until morning. But they didn't, because he didn't wait. And here's the worst part. He never said anything directly. Not once did he say, you need to reply at night. But every morning, there was this check-in, a stand-up meeting, casual, friendly, but somehow loaded. He'd glance at you, then casually ask, hey, did you see my email last night? Not aggressive, not even confrontational, but there was something underneath it, like a test. And if you hadn't replied, there'd be a pause, a subtle shift in tone. Ah, okay, well, take a look when you get a chance. And just like that, you felt behind. I started noticing something about myself. Every night around 10 p.m., I'd feel anxious, not because I had work to do, but because I might get work. I'd check my phone more often, even when I didn't want to, even when I was tired, even when I was with family. It was like I wasn't fully off the clock anymore, and I hated it. But I also didn't want to be that employee, the one who seems disengaged, the one who doesn't go the extra mile. So I kept replying, at first. The moment that changed everything wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, almost insignificant. It was a Saturday, 6:02 a.m. My phone buzzed. I remember waking up slowly, still half asleep, reaching over, and there it was, an email from him. Subject line, just thinking about next week. I just stared at it for a long time because something about that moment felt wrong. Not the email itself, but what it represented. There was no boundary, no off switch, no respect for time that wasn't his. And that's when I realized something. If I didn't create a boundary, he never would. I didn't confront him. I didn't complain to HR. I didn't send a passive-aggressive message about work-life balance because I knew how that would go. Instead, I made a decision that was simple, precise, and almost impossible to argue with. Every email he sends me, I will reply exactly 24 hours later. Not earlier, not later. Exactly. It became a ritual. Whenever an email came in, I'd open it immediately, read it carefully, draft the perfect response, thoughtful, detailed, professional. And then I wouldn't send it. I'd set a reminder exactly 24 hours later, down to the minute. 11:47 p.m. email, reply goes out at 11:47 p.m. the next day. 6:02 a.m. Saturday email, reply hits his inbox at 6:02 a.m. the following Saturday. No exceptions. At first, nothing happened. No comments, no questions, no pushback, which made sense because technically, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Every email was answered, every task was completed, nothing was delayed. But something else started happening. He noticed. I could tell. About 3 weeks in, his emails started coming earlier. Instead of 11 p.m., it was 9 p.m., then 8 p.m., then 7. At first, I thought it was coincidence, but then it kept happening, and I realized he was adjusting, trying to get ahead of the delay, trying to make sure I'd respond sooner. But I didn't change anything. Still 24 hours, always. This became a game, a quiet one, unspoken, but very real. He'd send emails earlier and earlier, and I'd respond exactly 1 day later. Perfectly consistent, perfectly professional, impossible to criticize. And slowly, the balance of control started shifting. There were moments, little cracks, times when I could tell he was frustrated, a slight pause in meetings, a tighter tone, but he never said it, because what could he say? You're replying too correctly? You're being too consistent? No, he couldn't, so he adapted. About 2 months in, something changed. His emails stopped coming at night. Not completely, but noticeably less. Most of them were now during the day, or early evening, before 6, then before 5, then before noon. One morning, I checked my inbox, 9:13 a.m., an email from him, normal, work-related, sent during actual working hours, and I just smiled because I knew it worked. It's been 4 months, 4 months of absolute consistency, 4 months of quiet resistance, 4 months of controlled, calculated response. And now, he sends almost everything before noon. No more midnight emails, no more weekend surprises, no more silent pressure, just normal work. There was no explosion, no confrontation, no dramatic moment where he realized what I was doing. That's what made it so satisfying, because the change happened without conflict, without risk, without giving him anything to push back against. I didn't fight him, I didn't argue, I didn't even acknowledge the problem. I just changed the rules and made him adapt. And the best part? From his perspective, he probably thinks it was his idea. Sometimes the most effective kind of revenge isn't loud. It's not explosive. It's not even obvious. Sometimes it's just consistency. It's knowing your worth, setting a boundary, and letting the other person slowly realize they don't control your time. If this story hit a little too close to home, go ahead and hit that like button. And in the comments, tell me what's the most subtle, satisfying revenge you've ever seen. And of course, subscribe for more stories that prove sometimes the quietest moves hit the hardest.